Hello you guys, Miss Steele here. I'm going to take off my lanyard real quick so it's not making noise. This week we're talking about balance in our artwork, but we're also talking about art movements again. And specifically we're looking at the pop art movement. So we're going to be recreating an artwork by Wayne Thiebaud, and I think I said that right, hopefully I did. But he's a pop artist and he loves to draw pastries and really like bright and kind of pastel like cakes and cupcakes and donuts. So we're going to be inspired by his donut painting today and we're going to make our own. So for this project, you are going to want a few things. You're going to want a piece of paper, pencil and eraser. Let's see if I can adjust this to where. You want a pencil and an eraser, piece of paper. You want colored pencils, and then as well a ruler, some scissors, and glue, and we're going to use this stuff at the end. But what we want to do first is we're going to draw our donuts, and we're also going to make this into kind of a small donut box. So we want to take our ruler, and if you don't have a ruler, you just want something with a straight side, and you want to make an even line going around. So I'm lining this up with the edge of my paper, and then I'm going to draw a line. So I'm not going to draw or color inside here because we're going to fold this at the end. And then I'm going to do it all the way around. Adding a line. And I want them to be kind of even, so whenever I fold this, it will fold kind of precisely. So one more line, and then here is our last line, like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different donuts. And we're going to talk about how there are all different kinds of donuts in just 1 second. So we're going to be using colored pencils for this because it's going to allow us to add in some value, which we talked about previously, how light or how dark a color is, to make these look more 3D. But first we want to draw our donuts. So I'm going to draw 3 that are kind of original shaped donuts. So what you want to do is you don't want to draw inside these lines, but we want to start drawing our donuts. And they're kind of round, flat ovals. So there's my shape for one. And then I'm going to draw a round, flat oval in the middle. And that's going to be the opening. And I'm going to draw another one right here. And I'm drawing light until it's right, so I'm drawing pretty light. And then one more original donut right here. And then for these other ones, I'm going to do some different kinds of donuts. So you could do cinnamon rolls, you could do Long Johns. I think I'm going to do one donut that's going to kind of be the French sort of twist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with my original shape like this, and then they're kind of twisted. So I'm going to go back and add in some bumps like that, and then erase these other lines that I don't need. So I drew that just to get the shape. So I can start adding in my shape for my French twist. I'm kind of following along with the shape of my donut. So I'm going through and I'm adding in these bumps so it can look more like a French twist donut than a normal donut. So I'm going to finish this out like this. And then I think right here, I'm going to add kind of like a big round one. And this is going to be my cream filled. So I'm going to make it a little lumpier. Then add a little lump on the top, because even though it doesn't have a hole in it, I'm going to color that in. So now I have my 3 original donuts, my French twist, my big cream filled donut. I think I'm going to draw it actually a little bit bigger. And then for this one, I'm going to draw a cinnamon roll. So I'm going to draw the top of my cinnamon roll, which is going to kind of roll in on itself like that. And then I'm going to draw the edge of my cinnamon roll like this. So now I have these drawn. What I can start doing now is adding in color and making them look really nice. And then at the end, I'm going to add in some value and some shadows next to my donuts to make them look more realistic. Wayne Thiebaud, the one that we're focusing on for this project, he liked to use a lot of pastels, sprinkles, different kinds of glazes. In the Schoology folder, I'm going to post some different styles so you guys can be more inspired. But I'm going to start coloring these in, and then I'm going to check in to see how they are looking. So I just finished drawing them and adding a little bit more detail. So now I am going to start coloring them in. I think I'm going to do this one like a cream and white. I'm going to do this one like a classic glaze. We got a cinnamon roll. I haven't decided for this one, and I think I'm going to add sprinkles. So I'm going to start getting these colored in, and then we will move on to our next step. All right, so I just wanted to check in because I have colored 2 donuts completely. I actually added my shadow to this one just to see how it would look. We're going to talk more about that at the end, but I just wanted to show you what I have so far. So I'm going to keep coloring them. I think I'm going to do this one similar to this one, like an original glaze color. I'm going to do this one white and maybe some red, and then I'm going to do this one pink with sprinkles. So I'm going to keep working on them. A lot of them I kind of layered different colors, and that looks really nice with the colored pencils as well. So I'm going to get the rest of these colored in, and then we will start adding our shadow to our value to these to make them look more realistic. All right, so I have them all colored in, and I tried to use lighter colors towards the center of my donuts, and then I tried to build up more color around the edges, and I think that helps make them look more 3D. So around the edges, I tried to add darker colors, or even use a colored pencil I was using and just press it a little bit harder. And then towards the center of my donuts, I left it a little bit lighter. So what we want to do now is, here, I'll hold this up so you guys can see. I have glazed, I made a cinnamon roll, I have a jelly filled, a frosted one, sprinkles, and then this one. So we're going to, similar to this one, add some value to these to make them look more 3D. You can do this using a black or a gray. I know this looks kind of green, but it's a gray. Or you can use both. So what you want to do is if your donut has a hole, you want to add some shadow at the top of that. And so I just start lightly coloring in and kind of following this shape like that. And I like to color lightly and then build it up, so it's easier if you hold farther back on your colored pencil. And then you can come around and you can add a little bit of shadow around here, like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing that I did right here, and I'm going to add a little bit of a shadow underneath this donut. Maybe like this, kind of following the shape of my donut that I drew. And so again, I'm going to start lightly coloring it, pressing a little bit harder whenever I'm closer to the donut, and then pressing softer whenever I'm farther away. And then if I wanted to go back and make this shadow even darker, what I could do is layer it, because I'm using a gray, and I could go back with a little bit of black and work it into there. Just a little bit. And again, kind of closer to the edge of my donut, and then slowly working it out. Like that. So you want to add it at the top of the hole, and then right here at the bottom. Almost like the light's coming from right here, and so it's casting a shadow. Like we just opened the box of donuts. So I'm going to finish out this shadow, and then we can work on one more or 2 more together. Like that. So if I was going to do something that didn't have a hole, I wouldn't have to worry about the middle. I would just have to worry about the bottom of it. And you don't want your shadow to go out too far, just a little bit. So I'd start adding in my shadow, kind of following along the shape of the cinnamon roll. Just like for this one, whenever I add my shadow, I'm going to follow along the shape that I made here. So I'm slowly, lightly building up a shadow. And I'm pressing lighter whenever I'm farther away, and harder whenever I'm closer to my cinnamon roll. And again, if I wanted to, I could go back with my black and layer some of that on. So I'm going to go through and add shadows to the rest of these, all going the same way, so this way. And then we're going to finish by cutting up these corners and making this into kind of like a little donut box, since we made all these donuts. So I have shadows on 3. I'm going to add my shadows to these 3, and then we will look at it and finish it. I'm so excited. So now we are going to use these lines that we drew at the start to help us. So we want to fold on these lines, but they're kind of hard to see if we fold in. So what I do first is I fold it the other way. And I'm making for sure that I'm lining up with my line and it's all straight. And first I fold it back because it's easier to see the line that way. And then I come back and fold it in so that line's already there for me. So again, I'll show you. I like to fold it this way, back first, so then I can see my line that I drew. And I'll make for sure I'm folding nice and straight. And then I'm going to fold it in. And I've already created that fold line. So I'm going to get these 2 folded, and then we will get this put together. Now what we want to do is in each of our corners, we want to cut it right down to the cut line. So a diagonal line right down, not to the cut line, to the fold line. I'm losing my mind. So we want to cut down to the fold line. Right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add glue, and then we're going to put them together like this. So what you want to do is you want to, on your corners, add glue to the front of one, and then you want to add glue to the back of one. And so then the back of one, right here, we're going to stick right here, and then where we put the glue on the front, we're going to take it to this edge and squeeze it together. So again, we want to add glue to the front of one, like this. We want to add glue to the back of one, and then we're going to bring it together and pinch it like that. Which is why we added those lines at the start, so we can already see our box starting to come together. So again, some glue on the back of one, some glue on the front of one. I'm trying to do this quick so the video isn't super long, even though it already is. So on the front of one, and then on the back of one. And then we will have our little donut box that we made, just like that. We have our little walls. If you wanted to add another paper as a lid, you could. I don't think I am. I think I'm just going to leave it like this. And that is it, 4th grade. I can't wait to see how your projects come out. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your morning, your evening, your afternoon, and I will see you guys all next time. Goodbye.